Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Bearscore Studio. Welcome to the show. So it finally happened. Now you can play Magic as the former chief financial officer of Hasbro. Yep, that's a thing now. So apparently there is a brand new, very exclusive card only given out to, I assume, employees at Hasbro and probably this person themselves. But there's a brand new, incredibly exclusive, probably card that we're never going to see. And there's something different about this one compared to others in the past that have been incredibly exclusive cards. So that said, let's jump into Deb Thomas. So, yeah, from what I found, Deb Thomas was the chief financial officer over at Hasbro for a number of years. I think was at the company for 24 years in total. Regardless, retired recently within the past year or two or so. But, yeah, now there's apparently a Deb Thomas card. So you can play as Deb Thomas in Magic. Yay! Anyways, this is an incredibly exclusive card, so yeah, I'm sure you could try to find it on the secondary market. Right now, there's absolutely no prices listed that I found, actually. At some point, you can probably find it in the secondary market for a pretty high price, I would assume. A lot of these exclusive cards that are either like Heroes of the Realm cards or ones for like specific events tend to go for quite the high price tag, or you can just proxy it. If you really want to just proxy it and play as Deb Thomas or, you know, put it into a deck, go for it. And that's kind of the thing about this one, too. Let's read the card first, actually. And before that, I should have mentioned this earlier, and I kind of alluded to it. This kind of exclusive card is unlike a lot of the other ones. Like, the Heroes of the Realm cards have their own specific, like, different card back. That being said, this one has, like, a regular Magic card back, apparently, according to the pictures that were posted on Reddit. So, yeah. I don't know what the legality of this card necessarily is. I doubt it's actually legal in any format, technically, but again, like, ask your playgroup first. If you've always wanted to play as Deb Thomas, now you can, and your playgroup be like, okay, that's strange, but all right, yeah, now go for it. Yeah, why not? Ask your playgroup first, but yeah, just proxy it. Anyways, 3 starting loyalty, legendary planeswalker Deb for 4 mana in red. Whenever an employee enters the battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on Deb. +1, create a 1/1 red employee creature token. -X, employees and dogs you control get +X with 0 until end of turn. I assume that Deb is a dog lover as well, like has a dog at home as well, like I do. Maybe many dogs. Maybe Deb's just known for loving dogs. No idea. But I assume there's some kind of a connection there. But yes, so apparently Deb is all about getting a bunch of employees in play. Whenever that happens, Deb gets a bunch of loyalty. You can actually utilize Deb's ability, obviously, to make employees. Obviously, populate effects would work with that as well. And then the -X, like, pump your employees and dogs a ton and swing through and hit your opponents. Now, one thing that is not missing on this card, which I kind of expected to see it, but it's not on the card, is, you know, Deb Thomas can be, you know, used as your commander. That is not on the card, so technically not a commander. But also, it's technically not a card that can probably be played in any format anyways, other than like just like kitchen table randomness. So if you're going to be playing with this card, you sure could ask your playgroup if they're okay with you playing with this card, just also playing with it as your commander. They might be okay with that. We shall see. Regardless, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting card. Employees really isn't a creature type that we've seen like anywhere ever, except for one small exception, which I will bring up here in a bit. And yes, changelings, obviously, are that as well, because they are all creature types. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you're building this as a commander and your playgroup's okay with that, employee, dog, tribal, changelings, fun times can be done with that. But also, of course, as a card in the 99, it could be utilized as well. And again, please ask the people ahead of time that you're playing with, you know, whether it's your playgroup or the people, you know, your LGS that you're planning on playing with. They're like, are you okay if I play with this card? Because if you're just playing a random Magic game with players and you haven't told them ahead of time, and then you just pull out Deb Thomas in the 99 of a deck, and they're like, what is that? Is that a real card? And you're like, yeah, look, it's got a card back, therefore it's real. Anyways, it's going to be an interesting one. Let's talk about some cards that work with this, and yeah, just some Deb Thomas fun shenanigans that you can do. So first up again, for your Deb Thomas themed deck, Again, employees are not really a thing in Magic, except for from Unfinity. Apparently, we got employees there. So in Infinity, there was like that acorn symbol, which kind of complicated things and made some cards legal, some cards not legal. Again, if you're doing all this, you might be able to convince other opponents to be like, hey, can I just utilize all the employee cards because even some aren't legal? Regardless, I'm going to show off one that is Rad Rascal, already a legal card in Commander. 3/3 Devil Employee for 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, open an attraction. Okay, so yeah, I guess you can go like Deb Thomas, CFO, Employee Dog, Attractions deck if you really want to go in that direction. Might be easier to just ignore employees at a certain point, though, and maybe just go, well, dogs if you want to go that, like Goldhound, just as an example of one dog that is in red. Obviously, if you have Deb in the 99 of a deck, it can, incorporate a lot of other colors as well, but I'm just pointing out one dog. Dogs have gotten a lot of support over the years now. A 1/1 treasure dog with first strike with menace that costs a single red mana, tap sacrifice, have one move any color. Obviously, a lot of other dogs. Again, the thing is, hey, get a lot of loyalty counters on Deb in one way or another. Bunch of employees in play, the activated ability. Maybe you've got ways to activate ability more than once in a turn. Maybe you've got proliferate effects, more ways to get counters, etc., etc., etc. Do that, and all of a sudden, pump your dogs, pump your employees if you have them quite a bit. If you are outside of just, red, Mere Entity can help you out as well, of course. A 1/1 shapeshifter for 3 mana and white changeling, so it's every creature type. So again, it is both a dog and an employee. Good job, Mere Entity. Also, pay X until target creature control at base power and status XX and gain all creature types. So you can dump a good amount of mana into that, turn all of your creatures into both dogs and employees, and then also say, hey, okay, I'm swinging through with my team. I'll pump them a lot for my commander as well, on top of the pump that I probably gave them with this too. That being said, even better though is Maskwood Nexus. Artifact for 4. Creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that are in the battlefield. Also pay 3 tap, make a 2/2 changeling. Or 2/2 shapeshifter with changeling, I should say. That always kind of not confuse me. I understand that like shapeshifters are the creature type, but like I always just like shortcut and be like, you made a 2/2 changeling. It doesn't really matter that it's a shapeshifter. It could just be a 2/2 nothing. I guess it has to technically have a creature type, but like it could be a 2/2 nothing because it has all creature types because it is changeling. So yeah, it's kind of redundant with the shape. Anyways, so basically with this one, though, the thing that is really good about this with Deb is, again, Deb does say whenever an employee enters the battlefield under your control, you get a loyalty counter on it. So obviously this would change every single one of your creatures, no matter where they're at, into also employees, which means that when any creature enters the battlefield under your control, you're going to be getting loyalty counters on your commander, which again can be huge. It can help really accelerate that quite quickly. On top of course, making your creatures into employees and dogs so they get pumped by that -X ability as well. So make sure you're keeping that in mind. And of course, it can also just make you more and more employee dogs. So there you go. Regardless, again, if you are asking your play group and you're like, hey, are you okay if I can play Deb Thomas in this deck? And they're like, sure. Interesting decision. Sure. Yes. Okay, whatever. This former CFO of Hasbro, right? Yes, I'm seeing that you're up on Magic News. Awesome. Yes, okay, so that conversation might go in that manner, maybe, or they don't know who Deb Thomas is, or they've never heard of this card and then show them this video. So there you go. Regardless, one commander that might want to utilize Deb in the 99 is, of course, Rin in Siri Inseparable, because what do dogs and cats love but hanging out with a bunch of employees, apparently. A 4/4 dog cat for 4 mana in Naya. Whenever you cast a dog spell, you make a 1/1 cat. Whenever you cast a cat spell, make a 1/1 dog. Also, by paying, Naya Colors tap, deals damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control, and you gain life equal to the number of cats you control. Good. But also, what matters, again, with Deb is, you can make employees, which is nice, because that does add to Deb's loyalty. Again, like, you make one employee, you're also getting an additional counter on that, right? Because you get +1 to get 1, and then also employee into the battlefield, you get a second one. So, like, if you don't want to activate that right away, you can, just pump your dog army quite quickly with that -3, essentially, if you really want to, and you take Deb out, but that's okay. And then all of a sudden, swing through with an extra +3. Nice in power. But also, again, if you can wait a couple turns, you can build that up quite a bit. Again, the next turn would be, -5. The next turn would be -7. The next turn would be -9. You can make your dogs hit incredibly hard if you can protect Deb. Moving on. Tessak, Judas, Hellhound, a 3/3 elemental dog for 4 mana. Unleash. Other dogs you control have Unleash, which is really cool. And you have to say Unleash like that way, apparently. Creatures you control with counters on them have haste. Whenever Tessak, Judas Hellhound attacks, add red for each attacking creature. So yeah, kind of like a red dog tribal commander. Now you can throw in this dog tribal aspect to it with Deb Thomas being like, okay, let's get pumping the dogs. Let's get employees out. Let's have these owners, these employees unleash their dogs. Just let them run willy-nilly. Don't do that in real life, okay? But yeah, in Magic, you can, obviously. And then you can pump your army quite a bit and then hit your opponents for fun. Lovely. And also get a lot of mana, and also they can have haste, and yeah, you know what I mean. It's going to be good times. Moving on. Eska, God of the Tree. Basically, this is just a placeholder for, like, any, hey, Super Friends commander out there. Eska, God of the Tree is a very popular one, a very good one. First up, let's read the front side, even though we're probably just going to read the back side. Vigilance, tap for 1 move any color or legend creature you control. Have Vigilance and tap for red, 1 move any color. I've only ever seen one commander player out there, and that is Eddie, who plays with the front side of Eska. Comment below if you also have an Eska deck that is the front side. But most players, including myself, who have I have a different kind of Prismatic Bridge deck, but most players out there, Prismatic Bridge, doing, creatures or planeswalkers, or if you're degenerate like me, just like one creature that I get every time. Intruder Nephilim, fun. Then I don't play that deck anymore because it just wins right on the spot. Anyways, the Prismatic Bridge, 5 mana, 1 of each color. Legendary enchantment. When you upkeep reveal cards at the top of your library to reveal a creature or planeswalker card, with that card onto the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. You can go either way, but again, in this example, going Super Friends, going Planeswalker Tribal, essentially, just, hey, chuck in all the Planeswalkers, get them for free off the top of the library, fun times are had. Does Deb really synergize all that well with your other Planeswalkers? Probably not so much. I'm not really thinking of any other Planeswalkers out there like, hey, bunch of dogs. Or, hey, I make employees. I don't think that really is a thing. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you very specifically want to throw Deb in that deck and your playgroup's okay with it, great. And you can just like slowly build up employees over time and then hopefully pump them too. But probably won't be your number one threat that you have in play. So maybe you can just kind of keep it around because your opponents might not be like, I have to get rid of Deb. And you're like, haha, you've fallen for my Deb trap. There you go. But yes, if you want to include, I guess, Maskwood Nexus, if you really want to win with Deb for whatever reason, a Planeswalker deck and a Super Friends deck, I guess, like, tutor up Maskwood Nexus and utilize a bunch of other Planeswalkers that make tokens, creature tokens, so then you can make a bunch of employees. I guess that's how I'd go with it. Other than that, yeah, you're kind of just chucking it in there, which is okay. Moving on, though, Ruka Biologist might be your best bet for a deck that has Deb in it, potentially. A 3/3 human wizard. As it enters the battlefield, it's a creature type. It's 5 mana, 1 of each color. Wooburg. Slivers you control and non-token creature control are the chosen type, but for other creature types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. By paying 3, you can tap and create a 1/1 color Sliver creature token. Essentially, with this, you could just choose, hey, all right, enters the battlefield, I choose employees. Now, every single one of my creatures is an employee. They work for my deck. There you go. And so with that, I've got a bunch of employees in my deck. Whenever they come into play, my commander gets more and more counters on it. So you can kind of go like Ruka, Deb Thomas, employee, creature token, go wide, dog, tribal. Not confusing at all. But yes, that is definitely something you could do with this kind of a card. Again, please, ask your playgroup. Ask those your LGS first if they're okay with playing this card. That is probably not going to be legal in any format technically. And also, you're probably going to have to proxy it unless you want to dish out a lot of money to get this card when it actually does show up on secondary market. So there you go. And now this episode is coming to a close. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this brand new, incredibly exclusive card. What are your thoughts on this one? Like, again, like, it is interesting to see that they actually, well, first up, put like a regular, back on the card, which is interesting. I find that very interesting. And then also, yeah, it's just, it's like a gift card, obviously, but it's not like over the top like some of the other ones have been, right? This one's probably more flavorful, and I wonder if we're going to start seeing more and more of these when it comes to like the Heroes of the Realm. I mean, with Heroes of the Realm, maybe specifically, they just keep going like way over the top with some overpowered things. But with this one, it's just like probably a connection to, employees as well as like has dogs. Deb Thomas, there you go. So yeah, we shall see. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you are interested in this again. Ask your playgroup first. Those are your LGS first. Please, don't just assume that players are okay with you playing with Deb Thomas, in the 99, or as your commander, you built like an entire deck around it, and then they're like, what? No, you can't play with the former CFO of Hasbro as your commander. What are you thinking? So ask your playgroup first. Many of them might be okay with it. Many might not be, but yeah. It's interesting. It's weird. Magic is weird these days. If you are interested in the cards I talked about in this episode, though, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below. Of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.